Welcome to the South Dakota Game Fish and Parks videocast on walleye spawning. Here's a typical workboat setup. First we have an oxygen tank. That's used to provide oxygen for the fish. All the ripe females will go into this tank. Green females go in here. Green females aren't yet quite ready to be spawned. The workboat comes up to the float. The worker leans over the bow of the boat, picks up the rope and the anchor attached to it. You can usually start tailing if you have any fish in the net, just by all the splashing and the tugging that occurs. The worker unties the net. Working as a team, one worker will dip the fish while the other holds the net. The fish also need to be checked, so that's up to one of the workers as well. Here's a ripe female. She'll go in that first tank. Many different species of fish will come out of any particular net. You just never know what you'll find. There's a big northern. Whoops, he just got away. All these other fish, other than the walleye, will be thrown back. Finally, the last fish is pulled out of the net. The worker up front will tie the net and then hold on as the boat pulls backwards. After that, it will be set for tomorrow. Typically on the Grand River, we run approximately 40 of these nets every night. We're currently doing the spawning on the Grand River, up by Mobridge. There's another crew that works off the Morrow River, which is south of Mobridge, on the Missouri River. There are crews in the northeast on natural waters that do the spawning as well. We finally get the fish back to the spawning station. This tank has the daily catch of ripe female walleyes. The green females that we catch each day will be kept in outside pens, waiting to ripen up. All the spawning actually occurs in the covered area of the shed. About 3 or 4 females at a time get taken into the shed. We need some males also. They're kept outside and are gathered each day in some of our last nets that we run. First we put the male to one male in the bottom. This just kind of assures that we get some equal fertilization across the eggs. This year we happen to be testing for the VHS virus. That's a virus that's been hampering some of the fisheries over in the Great Lakes recently. It just takes a gentle squeeze on the female's belly and the eggs just come squirting out, almost like milking a cow. You really can't say how many eggs come from a given fish. It all depends how much the fish is spawned beforehand and the size of the fish entirely. Fish are placed in this tub with some salt added into it. It allows the fish to start producing some of the mucus coating that protects them from diseases. Notice how this female has much different egg colors. We're not exactly sure why, but it just seems to happen that certain females will have different egg coloration than others. A few more males are added. Water is added to activate the eggs. This allows fertilization to occur. A turkey feather is also used. We use these to delicately stir the mixture and allow limited breakage of the eggs when they're so fragile. After about 2 minutes of stirring, we add diatomaceous earth. The diatomaceous earth is added simply to prevent the natural clumping that the eggs would traditionally have. Eggs out in the wild would want to clump just to be able to grab onto a surface so they aren't buried into silt. That's not what we want in the hatchery. We want the eggs to be separated out so that they have the best chance of survival in a hatchery situation. Eggs are then sifted and placed in a cooler. This is what we call the water hardening process. Right now we're just looking at the quality of the eggs and how things are looking. It gives us an expectation of what might be happening with the eggs and if they're ready for transport at this point. If you look at some of the eggs real closely, you might see some that are white. Those were ones that didn't get fertilized. They were essentially dead eggs at this point. All the opaque ones actually did get fertilized, and they'll be ready to be a young walleye. We transport all these eggs back to the office, where they're measured and boxed up, and get ready for shipment. Each one of these colanders actually comes out to about 1 quart of eggs. A quart of eggs equates to about 140,000 individual eggs. In a typical box, we end up putting about between 800 to 1 million eggs. Lastly, they need a little bit of special transport to get to the hatchery. We actually fly these out across the state and get them over to the Blue Dog Hatchery in Wabae. Why do we do this? It's so anglers can go out there and catch their limit. And it might be a big one that they're able to bring in, or even have some entertainment during the wintertime. But the main thing is we're doing it out there for the public to add to their enjoyment of South Dakota's outdoors.